Blue Cross Blue Shield of Massachusetts was very instrumental in building the framework for the healthcare reform law that went into effect in the spring of 2006. And the goal of the law was to, in fact, provide healthcare coverage for 95% of citizens in our state. And the law has been successful. Today, we can say that 97% of our 6 million citizens have access to healthcare coverage. And that leaves that there is 400,000 people that are newly insured that now have coverage and have access to health care that they didn't before. So that's a huge success for us as a Commonwealth, and the country is looking towards Massachusetts to help understand how we can frame the national health care reform in our country. And it's a hope that people who have disabilities have been able to receive health care coverage in our state as a result of the health care reform law. Being a parent of a child with disability, you think a lot about the opportunities that they're going to have in the future. And it's so important for me as a parent and a person with disability to be able to have access to any type of career opportunities that exist. And I find the best way to achieve that is through mentoring. And mentoring programs are very powerful and can be very successful in helping one launch an interest or just really propel into a career that they may not have even thought of otherwise would be something they could really enjoy. And I feel here at Blue Cross Blue Shield of Massachusetts, we're doing some really interesting and kind of dynamic and powerful programs to really bring people to our company that have disabilities and really help them understand that it's about their ability and not their disability. And we've taken Disability Mentoring Day, which was founded by Andy Imparato, and we've taken that day, and while it's normally celebrated in October, we actually celebrate it during a time of the year that makes sense for our business, when we have specific hiring needs depending upon the initiatives that we're working on. And so what we've done is we've hosted Disability Mentoring Day in the spring, we've hosted it in the summer, and oftentimes in the fall. And what we've done is we've actually expanded the work that's being done around Disability Mentoring Day, and we've opened it up so it becomes a full-day event, and we have people that are invited to come see our company and actually get a chance to participate in a career fair, do on-site interviews, do some job shadowing. So it's been a phenomenal experience for us, and we've gotten some great response, and we've gotten some great return on investment, and we've done a number of hires from these events. So having that type of vision that Andy had has really helped us as a company to excel and feel that we can work in this particular community and really draw people to want to work with us. When you're young and you're just starting out into the workforce and thinking about what type of career you'd want to engage in, it's an exciting time, and it's also a very scary time. And I do spend a lot of time working with high schoolers and college age people to help them kind of think about what their interests are. And I always say, the world is really at your disposal. There's so many things that you can do, and I find having mentors really help. And having mentors in all different industries really are key. And that way you can really figure out what your interests are and align them. So, because I think, we all know that when we have a job, we want to, feel that we're adding value and that we like what we're doing. So really getting the experience of hearing how mentors have actually navigated the career is really powerful, and it's a great connection point. So I'm a firm believer of the more mentors you can have, the better, because there's so much you can learn from people because they all have different perspectives. Here at our company, we're open to working with people of all abilities, and we recognize that people may encounter this disability later in life, and we've had some situations where some people have had some serious medical conditions that have required them to change their work and also change their role in our company. And we are very open to that, and we've done a lot to work with people who've had these changes in their life and come alongside them to help them continue to have an important role here in our company, and help them customize a career path that's going to work for them but also for us too. And it's been a great approach for us, because these situations are all very unique when they do happen, and they can be very scary for people that are going through them. So for us, we just embrace them with open arms, and we've helped quite a few people actually transition to different roles. and help them be able to feel that they're in a role that's important to them and to the company. So that's one place that we've done some work. And then the other places is that we've also, we've had some success stories out of our Disability Mentoring Day programs. And we've, in fact, had a few hires out of those programs and people who have come to our company and now have been working here more than 5 or 6 years and have very significant roles. And one person I think of, he's got a very strong background in finance, and now he's working in our budget area, and he really helps us understand the important aspects of budget process that for most of us can be very foreign. And so that's been another huge success story. So we embrace these situations. We take them, as they come, and we know that in many cases they're quite unique. And for us, we want to customize them as they are brought to our attention. And we like to work with the individual very closely to make sure that it's the right fit.